Alright, well, AOC has been out of the limelight for a little while, but she's edged her way back in there, and unsurprisingly, she's espousing some pretty off-the-wall stuff, so let's just take a look at it. She said, when asked about people who made and sold billions of some product, who are now filthy rich, why are they now the enemy of healthcare? Or why are they now subject to be punished, essentially? Well, she says that basically you didn't make those products, or they're using the stereotypical example of widgets. You didn't make those widgets. You employed thousands of people to make the widgets for you. AOC also said, in reference to the rich entrepreneur, that you just sat on a couch while people are being paid modern-day slave wages. Okay, so the rich entrepreneur just sat on a couch while paying people next to nothing. They sat on a couch, meaning they're lazy and they didn't do any work or any labor while they got paid. Okay, first of all, and I'm not making a bartender joke here because that's what she used to be, which is fine, but this is the type of inane, ignorant drivel you would hear from a drunk person at a bar, waxing poetically about things they know nothing about. And I'm being serious here. This reminds me of exactly that. The rich entrepreneur only sat on a couch and got paid huge sums of money. That's what they do, really? They're not putting all the resources in order to make the productivity happen? They're not constantly dealing with the supply chain and the distributors to figure out how best to get that product to people? They're not the ones who take on huge loans and huge liabilities in order to begin new projects or new lines? They're not the ones calculating the most appropriate capital structure for their organization? They're not the ones who took on insurmountable amounts of risk? Every day is a risk for the entrepreneur. Those millions or billions could go up in smoke at any moment, and that actually happens to many rich people. People go in and out of the upper 1% all the time. You put money into an investment and it doesn't work out, you could lose huge sums of money because you took on a huge risk. But guess what? All those workers who were employed within whatever the investment was, they get paid no matter what. It doesn't matter. That's the other side of the coin here. You're a laborer, you do labor, you get paid, period. If you're an investor, that money could be gone in a moment's notice. So the entrepreneur just sits on a couch. Yes, as if they're not the ones who had the idea to begin with. They didn't purchase or finance all the capital goods, all the tools, all the office supplies, all the software and computers, etc., etc., etc. I could go on all day. The gigantic side of this that AOC is missing is that without that investment, without the work of the entrepreneur, the labor performed by the laborers is far less productive. If you have a good business owner making the right decisions, investing in the correct tools needed, the laborer becomes far more productive, and society actually benefits. Even other laborers from completely different industries, they benefit as well, because this all does not happen in a vacuum. And this leads me to my next point. She also said that no one makes $1 billion, you take $1 billion. Well, this is yet again a fundamental misunderstanding of how economics and productivity works. The economy is not a zero-sum game, which is something we should all be thankful for. And again, it's shocking that she has a degree in economics and no one has ever explained this to her. If you have a vacant lot and you get a great idea for a product or service you think people will love, you build an office and you get some engineering workbenches and you get to work. Then you develop a prototype of whatever it is and you create it so it can be built on a production line. And years pass when you need to do market research, secure funding, figure out how to advertise the thing, figure out the supply chain, something broke, now you've got to fix it, and so on until you're finally ready to hire people to work on the production line. This is actual creation of wealth. This is not, in any logical sense, theft from the laborer, who without your insight and your initial idea and labor would even have that job to labor at to begin with. AOC is operating under a ridiculous assumption that all the factories and the production lines and the businesses and tools just materialize into existence, ready for the laborer to begin working with them, while the entrepreneur just sat on a couch as their bank account grew. This is the stuff you would hear from children, and I'm not kidding. This is an infantile, unbelievably naive view of how any of this works. But that is all for now. It's great to hear from AOC again, but it's sad she hasn't learned anything, but don't worry, I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, like, subscribe, and share the video. You're awesome, and take it easy.